Dracula has appeared in more movies than any other fictional character in history. His hypnotic charm and monstrous bloodlust have captivated audiences of film and literature for more than a century.
Bram Stoker, who was the business manager of the Lyceum Theatre in London, wrote the novel Dracula in 1897. While there is no direct connection in the novel, it is believed that Bram Stoker based Dracula on a 13th century Transylvanian prince named Vlad Tepes, also known as Vlad the Impaler, or Vlad Dracula. After the publication of Dracula, Bram Stoker tried to have the book turned into a play at the Lyceum Theatre with little success. After his death, however, the story did become a very successful play all around the world.
In the early days of silent film, a movement started in Germany called Expressionism. It was a style that featured many Gothic elements, and it was the first to feature elements of horror.
During this period, director Werner Herzog made a film called Nosferatu the Vampire, based off the novel Dracula. He tried to get around paying for the copyright by changing elements of the story. However, Bram Stoker's wife filed a lawsuit, and all of the copies of Nosferatu were ordered to be destroyed. Fortunately, some survived, and when Dracula came into the public domain in 1979, the film was re-released. In 1928, the son of Carl Laemmle, who founded Universal Studios in California, was given the keys to the castle for his 21st birthday. Carl Laemmle Jr. was a fan of the German Expressionist movement and wanted to make horror pictures. The first film he wanted to make was Dracula. The play, produced by Hamilton Dean, had been very successful, and its star was a Hungarian stage actor named Bela Lugosi. Lugosi lobbied for the role in the film. However, Universal's first choice was Lon Chaney. At that time, Lon Chaney was most famous for creating his own bizarre makeup for his roles as the Hunchback of Notre Dame and the Phantom of the Opera. This earned him the nickname the Man of a Thousand Faces. Lon became ill and passed away before production began. This left the door open for Bela Lugosi, and he became the most recognizable Dracula. Whether you know his name or not, everyone recognizes Dracula the way he was portrayed in the 1931 film. The costume, the widow's peak, the Hungarian accent. When kids dress up as Dracula for Halloween, whether they know it or not, they are dressing up like the Bela Lugosi Dracula. The 1931 Dracula was a huge success and opened the door for more classic monsters like Frankenstein, the Wolfman, and the Mummy, and plenty more. Although Bela Lugosi is synonymous with Dracula, he did not return for any of the sequels to the 1931 film. He did, however, return to the role for the second and last time in the 1948 comedy Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein.
In 1957, a British company called Hammer produced a film called The Curse of Frankenstein. Its star was a little-known actor at the time named Christopher Lee. His performance and the box office inspired Hammer to make their own Dracula film.
After some legal disputes with Universal Pictures, Hammer released their Dracula in 1958, starring Peter Cushing as Van Helsing and Christopher Lee as Dracula. Hammer would go on to make 8 more Dracula films, including The Brides of Dracula, Dracula Prince of Darkness, Dracula Has Risen from the Grave, Taste the Blood of Dracula, Scars of Dracula, Dracula AD 1972, The Satanic Rites of Dracula, and The Legend of the Seven Golden Vampires. Christopher Lee did not appear in The Brides of Dracula and left the role after The Satanic Rites of Dracula. Christopher Lee became a huge star after the success of the Hammer Dracula series. He would go on to play a villain in the James Bond film The Man with the Golden Gun. He played Count Dooku in the Star Wars prequels, and most recently he has played Saruman in all of the Lord of the Rings films and The Hobbit. In 1979, Universal released a remake of Dracula, also based on the play by Hamilton Dean, which inspired the 1931 film. This version starred Frank Langella as Dracula. This version did not do so well at the box office, but it went on to become a hit on video and later DVD.
In 1979, Dracula went into the public domain, and now any studio could make a film starring the Count. But the next most popular Dracula film would not be released until 1992.
Columbia Pictures made Bram Stoker's Dracula starring Gary Oldman as Dracula, Winona Ryder, Anthony Hopkins, Cary Elwes, and Keanu Reeves. The film was directed by Francis Ford Coppola, director of the Godfather films. Bram Stoker's Dracula was a success at the box office and went on to win 3 Academy Awards: Best Costume Design, Best Director for Francis Ford Coppola, and Best Actor for Gary Oldman. Gary Oldman became a huge star and has starred recently in Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy as Commissioner Gordon and in Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy as famous British Secret Service agent George Smiley, based on the novels by John le Carre. Dracula appeared in several other films and adaptations over the years, including a comedy titled Dracula Dead and Loving It, starring Leslie Nielsen in 1992, the Dracula 2000 trilogy produced by Wes Craven, who directed and wrote A Nightmare on Elm Street and the Scream films, an adaptation in 3D by famous Italian director Dario Argento, and there is even another adaptation in production right now for a 2013 release.
Dracula's legacy in film continues to this day, and there is no end in sight for the legendary Count. After all, he is undead. Good night.